Nice digs, y'all.
Yeah, this is real nice. I dig it.
All growing up, 96.3 in Nashville was our oldies station.
Oh,
Oldies 96.3.
Are they still around?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I know it's not the oldies station anymore, but I loved it.
I spent some time, and we can just jump into it.
Yeah.
Casual
Casual
vibe
jump in.
here
Totally.
at Go 96.3. We're kind of talking off the air about how beautiful the weather is at the moment.
Uh-huh.
Like 60 degrees. I mean,
Where are we?
I walked over in a jacket. I had to take it off. I was just like,
talk right into the mic, actually. Yeah, sorry. They're very sensitive microphones.
Scott's also got the
this weirdly unintelligible vocal.
every time he orders something at a drive-thru, it's like, excuse me, sir, we need you to speak up.
Is that
Can you Say
right?
that one more
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
that's unfortunate.
Something about the tone of his voice.
Yeah, man.
How's the weather in Nashville right now?
Don't know.
But you were there. When was the last time you were home?
Well, I guess we've only been out on the road for a few days now, so it was kind of rainy and cold when we left, but it's been kind of all over the place. Cold, warm, rainy,
It was
cold.
really nasty. It was that kind of like white out cloud, rain, drizzle thing.
Right. We're used to that here. We get that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. When it's not snowing in the winter. Let's give you a proper introduction. Scott and Caleb, the band Colony House from
Yes.
Nashville, Tennessee.
That's right.
Here joining us in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Go Radio. And you have a sold-out show tonight as we record this
Mhm.
at 7th Street Entry. Your first ever headline show, right?
Yeah, this is our first like proper headline tour. We've co-headlined a few. We've actually, and we've headlined. 7th Street has an amazing story for us as a band. It's like this is a really cool full circle show for us because the first time we played 7th Street, it was our first time we were doing like 4 headline shows, like probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time.
And we weren't even called Colony House at the time, but we showed up. A blizzard had rolled in right around the same time. There were only like 29 tickets sold anyways, and only like not even all those people showed up.
Yeah.
And we had 7th Street like really takes care of their bands. And we, after the show, me and Scott were talking out, and Scott was settling the show. And we were like, Scott, I was like, Scott, just be, if we need to give some money back, like we understand. We want these people to want us back, like
It's very cool of you.
And so he went up and he was like, hey man, I get there was no one here and y'all probably took a hit. So if we need to like, work the deal out to where, and the guy there, James, I think is his
Yeah, he's
name,
like, I guess the owner.
or something, some official man
Okay.
was like, hey, a deal's a deal. Everyone starts somewhere, and you guys are going to come back here one day and sell it out, and we're just happy to have you. And that was, 5 years ago or whatever. And
Yeah.
now we're here and with the sold out sign outside the venue. And it's cool that it was an inspiring conversation with someone who understands the grind, and it's about taking small steps, and they were a cool part of that process for us. So it's cool to be back.
What a great story, man.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising because a lot of times when I ask a band about memories of being in Minnesota, First Ave and the Entry and their staff always gets brought up. So I'm not surprised by that. Have you had a chance to maybe reconnect with these same people from the venue today?
I had our tour manager today. I was like, hey, whenever you call like to do the day of stuff, I would love to like see if James is there. And apparently he's not going to be working tonight, but he may stop by soundcheck.
Oh,
and say
cool.
hello.
That's
Good.
awesome.
So it'd be cool to reconnect.
The second record, Only the Lonely, just came out about a month ago, right?
Yeah.
And kind of a substantial process, I think. A couple years it took to make this record.
Uh-huh.
How does
Yeah.
it feel now that it's out and you're playing sold out shows and you're playing these songs?
It feels amazing. I mean, we finished the album probably a year ago, around right this time a year ago. And so to have it in your pocket and, all the work that goes in before it's done. So yeah, probably almost 2 year process of start to finish and start to release. And yeah, when you have something finished for that long, you see the clock feels like it's on one hand going really slow, but you also feel like, oh my gosh, is this even going to be relevant by the time it gets out?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just been freeing to see people respond to it and be inspired by it, even though it's just been out for a month or whatever. So, tickets are going selling, which is awesome. It's just, I don't know, it feels like a new chapter for our band, and we try to take this day by day, knowing that, you know, who knows what the future holds for us, but we're really trying to soak it up right now, you know.
It's really interesting. You mentioned, you know, you don't know if it'll be relevant by the time it comes out. I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 years in between albums, something like that. And you're right. The music landscape, especially now, it changes so fast. It's like 1 minute trap music is a thing, and then like this mumble rap thing that's happening right now is like the biggest thing ever. And alternative music is changing so much. We're playing a lot of more like pop leaning records on Go Radio too that sort of fit with that state of mind. So it's got to be kind of daunting, I guess, being in a band in 2017 and trying to figure out new ways to push the envelope. Yeah?
Oh man, it is extremely daunting, especially you just sit across from people that are like, you know, in the industry or whatever, and they're like talking about how guitars are kind of irrelevant right now, and you're like, well, we play guitar. That's what we do. We play guitar, and that will always be the case. We want to play rock and roll music, and so it's just one of those things where it's like we just got to stick to what we feel passionate about,
of course,
and hope that cuts through the noise. You know, like there's there's beautiful pop music, there's beautiful rap music, there's all these things that are really well crafted, and that's what I like to think. It's the like things that are intentional that cut through the noise, not a certain genre or a certain niche at the time. And I know there's leaders and then people kind of like to follow that trend, but hopefully one day we can be viewed as a leader of some sort. I don't know.
Sure. Well, and the idea of guitars being irrelevant, I work for a channel who plays a lot of bands with guitars, so I'm biased as well. So who am I to say? But it seems like you look at like your label mates, Kings of Leon, you look at Judah and the Lion, even I know Green Day have been around for a long time, but they put out a record last year and they're doing stadiums again. They weren't doing that 5 years ago.
Awesome.
So
there is hope for us yet.
100%.
Indeed, we're huge fans.
We kind of feel like that's the year.
Yeah,
this is the. There have been a lot more rock singles, like guitar, like rock and roll leaning singles in recent months.
Sure.
Even with like the comeback of Jimmy Eat World and that whole deal. So we kind of feel like this could be.
It will never. You can never. Guitars will always be relevant.
Yeah, and the Killers will have a new album this year, and that will be a big deal, and people will be talking about that. So I mean, there's a lot of relevant bands out there, and you're selling out a show tonight. So come on.
Totally. Yeah, man.
What are we talking about?
We're pumped.
Living in Nashville, I spent a little time in Nashville, literally like a day over the summer, and it was my first time there, and I fell in love with the city. It reminds me of the Twin Cities a little bit in that it's both very passionate about music and local bands. And Nashville, too, going to a bar, there's a band playing everywhere you go.
Yeah, man.
What's it like to just be around that all the time? Is that an influence for you? Just the idea of having music around you pretty much at all times. I mean, what does that feel like, and how does that relate to what you guys do as a band?
I think it's always. I mean, me and my brother were born and raised in Nashville, so we definitely have the like music 24/7 thing in our blood, I think. And Scott and Park grew up in Knoxville and came to Nashville early on, and so there's something about just knowing that everyone around you, there's probably someone, no, not probably, there's definitely someone in the room that can play circles around you, or there's someone in the room that wrote a smash hit, but is just they are cuddled up next to the just hanging out. Like there's so much talent, but there's so much humility, I feel like, in Nashville as well, and camaraderie, that it's a really inspiring place to create, because there is competition like anything, but there's this sense of you have to kind of walk into a room with humility, or you might, I feel like people
will see right through it,
because it's like no one's really impressed. And maybe that's why a lot of bands don't love playing in Nashville, but I don't feel like it's like the arms folded, I'm not impressed because you're not good. It's just no one's impressed with the personas or anything like that. It's like people are doing amazing things all the time in the city, and there's not like gold stars being handed out. They're just working.
You got to
know?
earn it.
Yeah.
You really got to
totally.
earn it. Yeah.
So it's definitely inspiring and an influence in our music. I feel like it keeps us sharp, or we want to stay sharp and want to be like kind of sponges soaking up all the good things that people are doing there.
With all that said, I'm curious because I know your father was in the music industry, a performer, and made a pretty good name for himself.
Oh yeah.
Was that a benefit to you, or was that sort of something when you walked into a room, people said, "Oh, you're this dude's dad, you're this dude's son"? Like maybe did you have to work extra hard to really be noticed?
I think it's been a little bit of both. Mainly, I will say that it's only been good things and positive. Like my dad's legacy is amazing, and people love him and loved working with him and love still working with him. I think for us, there was a little bit, you kind of have to earn your stripes. Like I think we felt like the cute kids for a long time. Like, oh, his sons play music. That's cute, you know?
Yeah.
And naturally you have to work your way out of that shadow, not because we're trying to prove something, but anything other than like, we have worked really hard for this too. And sure, doors have been opened. We would be foolish to say that there haven't been doors open because of my dad's name, but we have to take those and know like that's a gift, but it doesn't mean that it falls into our laps. Like we still have to grind it out, you know? And that's where it's like, we've taken a different path than my dad musically. And because we felt, one, that's what we were supposed to do. And two, we don't want to skip steps. If we feel like if this is going to last long, if we want to make this a career for ourselves and, you know, provide for families and stuff, that we can't skip steps.
Yeah.
Like we have to be in it for the long haul, and the long haul, you can't skip the beginning if you're in it for the long haul, you know?
Totally. And I always say, it's one of those things where, because my dad worked in radio and in the music industry a little bit too. So
Yeah.
I was kind of able to get in the door a little easier, but I always tell people, it's like, just get in the door however you can, but it's what you do once you're in there that keeps you inside or not. You know what I mean? So 2 albums deep, a sold out show tonight. I mean, I think you guys are doing okay so far.
It is working out so far. We're really thankful.
Tell me about that story. I read something that you briefly mentioned in a previous interview. But if you can elaborate a little more, I love this idea of you guys doing your first ever TV appearance on one of the late night shows. I think it was Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
And you told a story briefly about going to H&M and picking up some outfits. I mean, how did that all work out?
That is funny. I don't even remember when I would have told this story. But my parents are our biggest fans. All of our parents are our biggest fans. So my mom and dad flew up for that. And they were outside in the line with everyone telling, like, when Seth Meyers says Colony House, everyone flip out. So it was funny. Seth Meyers said our name, introduced us, and everyone went crazy. And he was kind of like, oh, we got some Colony House fans in the house. Of course, it was my parents vetting everyone. But
So good.
there's this, you know, you sound check in the morning, and then you have like 6 hours before you film. And so that first one, especially, just like, you're just thinking about all the things that could go wrong. And, you know, and to get our minds off of it, my dad was like, hey, what are you guys going to wear tonight? And we were like, well, we brought these clothes, just kind of our normal stage, whatever, our clothes that we wear. And he was like, let's just go look at some stuff. So we went across the street to H&M, and my dad was like, if y'all want, I will buy you all matching suits, and you can play in matching suits tonight. And we were like, yeah, that's awesome. So we all got these suits, and we went back over and we put them on, and we were so amped about it. There were these like navy blue suits.
Yeah.
And we walked out, and our label and our press people were there, and they were like, you guys look nice. And we were like, it was that like half, you know, kind of backhanded compliment. And you're like,
why?
They just thought it was our first. We still talk about it because we give them a hard time. We're like, remember that time you shut down the suit idea? They just said, this is your first time being introduced on TV. You know, it's a
brand us as the suit band.
They didn't, yeah. So
You wear a suit band, or you wear suits on your first national.
then you're a suit band.
Right.
But I'm like, I wouldn't mind being a suit band.
Maybe we get some suits.
We'd get some cool suits.
I mean, would your dad be buying suits every time? I mean, I don't know. What
Oh
would
man,
happen.
it was a
That'd be sick.
special. That's probably probably a one-time offer.
Yeah.
Taking our money. But it was funny. We bought them and then we didn't use them. So they like ran them back over and took them back.
That's
Just
awesome.
returned them the same day. So anyways, it was an epic setup for nothing really happening.
Funny story though.
It is funny.
I like that. No, that's cool.
It helped us. It helped our mental state for sure.
Because then by the time the whole suit fiasco was over, it was like, hey, we have like 30 minutes.
Put on your other clothes.
Oh, shoot.
A lot of times when a band sells out the entry, when they come back, there's a shot you can maybe do the main room again, or do the main room for the first time
Right.
on your own as a headline act. When you go back out on tour, maybe later this year, next year, whatever it is, who's someone that you'd want to bring along with you? Who are you into right now, I guess is what I'm asking. Some up-and-coming bands.
Well, we're stoked that Deep Sea Diver's out with us on this one.
Yeah.
We can't believe that they were up for it. But if we could it's hard to say because it would feel weird to mention someone to open for you if they shouldn't be opening for you.
Who would you
know what
like
I
to
mean?
open up for?
There we go. That's an easier question.
At the
Well, you mentioned the Killers. That wouldn't be too bad. Kings of Leon wouldn't be too bad either.
You run into them ever? I mean, they still live in Nashville, right?
We've run it. We haven't. I wouldn't say run in, but like been at the same show or something. Like
Yeah.
we have some good buddies in a band called Leagues. Who Tyler Burkham is a Minneapolis native, I guess. I don't know, born.
Yeah.
I think born and raised. But they had a show in Nashville, and the drummer. What's the drummer's name? Nathan. His wife was opening for the show, and so he was there. So like random stuff like that. They're around town, but we don't know them or anything.
Yeah.
We are label mates though, which
You
is
are
kind of
label
cool.
mates. Yeah.
That we feel very cool about that. Cage the Elephant. If they ever asked us,
Yeah.
we would definitely go out on tour with them. So another label mate of ours, which is really cool.
And also in Nashville, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's this crazy. I think Jack White's another Nashvilleian who's awesome. I don't know if we'd ever get asked to go on tour with him, but we'd definitely say yes to that too.
When I was in Nashville that one day, I mentioned earlier, Third Man was certainly one of the stops I had to do.
man.
Yeah, did you like that?
I loved it. I just kind of stood in there for like 2 hours and
Totally.
just sort of looked around and went through like every record and
Awesome.
went in that little booth and listened to some vinyl. So
Yeah.
it's so cool. It's
Yeah.
they had the Lego from the Fell in Love with a Girl video in there. I
Yeah,
kind of freaked out.
He like cultivates such cool things.
Yeah.
Like, his hand is in a lot of cool pots.
Indeed.
As is you guys. As is Colony House.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
With
much.
what you're doing right now, selling out shows, the new record, Only the Lonely, is out now. Enjoy the walk back to 7th Street. We walked here today. We'll walk back potentially.
Oh yeah,
It's
we
very
will
nice
walk
out
back.
today.
Very nice day.
We will take these
Every
warm
moment that you can get outside of a black, dark venue, we will take.
Yeah.
and crowded van.
Crowded van is another. Ooh.
Happy you guys came here today. Probably the best day weather-wise of 2017 so far. So,
Yeah,
there you
well,
go.
we're
so
happy
enjoy
to
it
be
while
here.
you're here.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to Go 96.3 and the Twin Cities.
Thanks for having us, man.
Cheers.